Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Surviving the Badge. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Murdaugh murders and the hearing that's going on. Obviously, it's all over every single channel in the news and everything else. If you don't know anything about it, then I don't know where you've been, maybe under a rock or something. But yeah, you can't get to a news channel or anything without seeing it. So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. Just want to mention Jody's birthday.
Oh yeah,
Jody's birthday. When is it? Tomorrow?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
so happy birthday, Jody. We're here for you. We hope you had a wonderful day and hope to see you tomorrow. So anyway, so stick around. We're going to be right back, guys. Hey, Camille, how about going into the Fallen Heroes moment of the show for us?
Absolutely. So as of today, I checked before I came in. There's been 16 officers fallen in the line of duty.
1-6?
1-6 as of January. Everything's down except for other. Every matrix is down except for other, and that's what I'm going to talk about. As of 2 of the 16 that have been killed have been through falls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the spotlight that I have is Julian, is that Becerra? Becerra. He was working, they were dealing with, and this was in Colorado, they were dealing with a carjacking suspect, and vehicle pursuit. Guy jumped out, and the officer was chasing after him on an overpass, and the officer fell off the overpass.
I heard about that one.
And died from the fall. So I thought that was weird that within 16, 2 of them have died from falls this year.
Man, that's crazy.
Right? So let's go ahead and raise a glass to our fallen heroes.
Salute. God bless you and your families.
And cheers.
Cheers.
I won.
There you go.
All right, John. I think you're going to kick us off with the Murdaugh.
Yeah.
Murdaugh.
Well, we're going to talk about the Alex Murdaugh case. As most of you know, like we said earlier, he was convicted of shooting and killing his wife Maggie and his son Paul, or as he calls them, Mags and Paw.
Only on the stand, though.
Yeah, only on a witness stand. And today he was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. So he will not be getting out of prison.
There's the 2 victims there, right?
Yeah. That's
Mags and Paw.
Mags and Paw. And today, when he was sentenced, the judge, South Carolina Circuit Judge Clifton Newman, basically tore him a new a-hole.
Okay.
As he deserved.
Right.
And basically said, you are an absolute disgrace to the legal profession. And the fact that he and his family, going back 3 generations,
right?
3 generations. He said, you and your family have charged more people with crimes and probably sought the death penalty for people who have done far less than you have. Mm-hmm.
So when did this murder happen?
It happened June 7th, I believe last year.
21?
21, I think.
Yeah, so 21.
And that was one
Which is pretty quick, actually.
Well, the defense did ask for a speedy trial.
Okay.
So because they knew there wasn't a lot of evidence.
Right. And sometimes you roll the dice for that.
Right. But the evidence in this case, although there was a lot of
circumstantial
omitted evidence.
Okay.
Or not omitted, but they just didn't have it.
Right.
There was. It's very close between is it circumstantial or direct.
Okay.
In the fact that they use smartphone technology in a way that I don't think it's ever been used before. To the point. They were doing, like how many steps he took.
Really?
In 3 minutes or something like that. He took like 273 steps.
So did he have an app on his phone? And
all our phones are recording all this stuff all the time.
Well, I get that, but I also have like an app that shows me how many. But that doesn't show me position. But does it? I guess.
Well, it's You have your GPS. It will tell you that.
Right.
Okay, and they can pinpoint it.
Right.
Just like if you use a GPS and it's walking, a map, walking distance, and it knows exactly where you are.
So he was suspected of murdering his son and his wife.
His son and his wife.
And where did this happen? At their house?
It happened at their hunting lodge.
Okay.
But yes, it is their property.
But not their regular residence.
They have multiple regular
Okay.
residences that they stay at. This was referred to as their hunting lodge.
Is this what I have queued up?
Yes. And basically the biggest key to this case, because like I said, they lacked a tremendous amount of direct evidence. You would think Paul was shot with a shotgun.
Right.
Maggie was shot with a rifle.
And they were shot both in the back, or
I believe Paul was shot in the chest. She was shot in the back. And the theory is she was running to Paul.
okay.
But all this happened right by the kennels on the property.
And they have hunting dogs.
They have hunting dogs.
Okay.
And they are avid hunters, and they have guns all over the place.
We believe that's the building with the white roof in the back. There, a couple vehicles next to it that you're seeing on your screen now.
So did he do the old, oh my God, I found my family on 911 call, or how were they found? Okay.
Yes, he found them.
Okay.
And what he had done was supposedly, or his story was, he had, Paul and Maggie went up to the kennels. He didn't want to go, and he was going to go see his mother and father. So he left. He texted them and called them. They didn't answer, so he just let them know that he was going to his mother and father's, and he left.
Right.
That's what he said.
Yes. And that's what he sent in a text.
Well, yes.
Okay.
I'm going to. Well, apparently Paul was recording I think it was a Snapchat video.
Okay.
And in that video, which was timestamped at 8:45
PM.
you could hear Alex on the video,
Oh.
which means he was at the kennels.
Right. Whoops.
Even though every statement he gave
Whoopsies.
said, I wasn't at the kennels.
Yeah.
I was at the house. I took a nap, and then I went home. Or then I went to visit my parents. So I was never at the kennels.
Yeah.
Well, this was the turning point where they were able to, they had numerous people get up on the stand who were able, very familiar with him, and were able to say, that is Alex Murdaugh's voice. So now he's stuck in a conundrum.
Right.
Because all they're going to do is they're going to show, I said I wasn't at the crime scene, and now I am.
Yeah, because he told law enforcement several times he wasn't there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And most of these were voluntary statements. And
Yeah, because right now he's just a reporting person.
when 911, when the cops first get there.
What was funny is when I was listening to some of it, they were talking about that he lied, but then he admitted that he lied.
Right.
And then he changed his story, admittedly changed his story. And it's like, does he really think these people are idiots that are listening to this, investigating this and all?
Well, and we're going to kind of talk about that because of this conundrum that he found himself in the fact that now we have proof I was at the scene at 9:45, and the murders were at 9 o'clock. Or I'm sorry, 8:45, and the murders were at 9.
Yeah.
I got some explaining to do.
You got some explaining to do.
So
is conundrum anything like a coinky-dink?
It's more like a dilemma.
Oh, okay.
So the one was with a shotgun, one was a rifle. Did they recover both weapons?
No, they didn't recover either.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't have blood splatter on him. They didn't recover either weapon. So they're missing
some major evidence.
Yeah.
And juries love to see that kind of evidence.
Right. And it's like, especially if you're like, now you got him there within 15 minutes of the murder.
But no guns. No murder
But everything's
weapon.
gone.
Yeah. Were they able to show if he left at any time and then came back?
Oh yeah, that was more. They tracked his phone every 30 seconds.
Okay.
And yes, he was at the kennels. He went to that house. At the house, after he left the kennels is when they determined he took like 273 steps in like 4 minutes.
Okay.
Like,
You know what's funny is what did we do before cell phones and all the evidence from cell phones?
he would have
and
walked
every-
in a absolutely.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing. Hell, you remember a time when we didn't even have DNA to use.
oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
But
so
I'm just
the
saying, it's
technology,
just
you're
funny.
right.
Yeah, the technology, the more technology we get, the easier it makes to pin these people to locations, times, everything. It's awesome.
How
It's
long
really
did the investigation take before they made an arrest?
I think it was like 9 months.
Oh, okay. So it was So
Yeah,
they
it
were
was
they
a
waited
while. Yeah, wow.
At first.
I mean, and you mentioned this. So there's something that you have to be aware of. As soon as you put the cuffs on, the clock starts ticking. So you've got if according to the Sixth Amendment,
Speedy trial starts. Yes, sir.
As soon as you put those cuffs on, you make an arrest.
Yep.
If they don't waive speedy trial, you got to try them within 180 days.
That's right.
And most of the time, defendants do waive speedy trial because they have to get their case in order.
Right.
Yeah.
So they want to be able to gather evidence.
They want as
talk to
long
witnesses.
as they can
So-
have to
But
get
sometimes,
everything
like you
together.
said, sometimes it's a good strategy to
Wasn't there a
not
song like that?
yeah, to not waive speedy trial, especially if you think that the prosecution has a weak case.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly,
for
I
sure.
do think that they did have a weak case.
Right.
And I think what caused the jury to come back with a conviction was his testimony.
Yep.
Okay.
Which
I agree.
we're going to talk about after a beer moment.
Yeah, John, why don't you bring us into the beer moment?
Okay, what do we have?
We have Two-Lane American Golden Lager.
Golden Lager.
Golden
You have to
Lager.
say it like that? Lager.
Lager.
Is it from New York?
I don't know. I'm not.
New Jersey?
John brings the beer, and there's becoming a little bit of a pattern here.
I know why he has a lager.
I see lager,
What?
IPA,
John, why
lager,
is-
IPA, lager, IPA. It's like,
John,
what the hell?
why do you always pick lagers?
Because they're cheaper.
Oh, because he's a lager drinker by trade. Jesus, he set you up and you couldn't even freaking do it.
Slam it.
God.
This guy, right? One job.
I don't like it. Tastes like, you know what it actually tastes like? And I can't say I don't like it. I'm sorry. It tastes like Tucker. Which
I like Tucker.
I like Tucker, but it has a malt taste to me.
I love malty stuff.
I don't.
I-
See, I don't.
To
That's
me,
why.
okay, well, you already started. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to give it 6.
Okay.
That's only because it's okay to drink. It just wouldn't be my favorite.
I'm going to give it a 6.5. It lacks crispness.
I think
that's the malt in it.
I think it lacks flavor. It's like a step
Yeah.
above water.
Malty water.
Yeah,
and I'm not a big
I'm
fan.
going to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I mean, it's easy drinking because it's almost like water.
But is it as bad as
Don't.
dumpster water?
It is not.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
It's just I wish
It's not bad.
I like a flavorful beer. I like something I can really
Right.
That's a flavor. So
I do too.
right.
So listen, guys, before we get started with the rest of this, if you will notice, we have new microphones again. Only this time they were tested and tested and tested over and over and over before we decided to buy all 3 of them. But we're wearing them tonight, and it's our little lapel mics. All our tests showed that there's little to almost zero echo.
Yep.
When we turn our heads, we don't fade. So please give us a comment down below and tell us what you think. I know there was a comment made on the last show by John Labrie, one of our great listeners and fellow law enforcement officers.
great John Labrie.
Exactly. Said that, and it was my fault. John's mic was really, really off, and it was because it was pointed down. It was all my fault. But anyway, so these, I think, are absolutely jamming.
Yeah, while you're making a comment, make sure and subscribe, share, like all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
And tell us, giving us any ideas. We're going to cover later a topic that
Suggested by a viewer.
Absolutely.
Suggested by a viewer by Trey Cotton.
Yeah,
So
let us know
absolutely.
what you think. And all right. So 2 years later, he goes to trial.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, and unfortunately, he's got all his voluntary statements to law enforcement.
Right.
Did you talk about who this guy actually is? I mean, he's an attorney.
Well, he was one of, his family was the most prominent law enforcement family in the, his great-grandfather, I believe, was the solicitor for this area. Mm-hmm. His grandfather, his father were all solicitors or prosecutors in this county of, in South Carolina.
Now, he's not a prosecutor, though. He's a private attorney, right?
He is his grandfather or great-grandfather started a law firm, a private law firm, which he was employed by.
But he's involved with the law, his whole family.
But he was a part-time prosecutor.
Oh, okay.
Because that's something else that's going to come up in the
questioning. I didn't know that was a thing. Okay.
Well, so, because
me neither.
he had a badge.
Okay.
Ooh.
Indicating it was a prosecutor.
Ooh.
From the prosecutor's office.
Dun, dun, dun,
and that was one of the major things, I think, that hooked him up in his testimony.
Okay.
Because he felt he had to take the stand in order to explain why he was at the kennels, even though he said all along he wasn't at the kennels.
Right.
Now, the other thing is he's, a very experienced attorney.
Yep.
Handled many cases.
Knows how to deal with juries.
Has done witness prep. Has, he knows exactly what to do. So he went up and he played this fiddle.
Let me ask you this. You watched the trial.
This is him here on the stand, probably?
Yeah.
You watched the trial.
Yes.
Do you think that he was going to take the stand the entire time, or do you think that they didn't feel it was going well and this is what they had to try to do?
I think if they did not come up with a way to explain why they have proof he was at the kennels when he said he never went to the kennels at night. If they couldn't explain that, he was done.
Okay.
Because everyone knew he was
and only one person could explain it.
Right.
Right.
You couldn't let the attorney say, well, he forgot. He forgot the last time he saw his wife and child.
Right.
Before they were murdered.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill them.
I like this one point that you have here. When asked if the dogs acted like there were strangers on the property, he replied no. Then said because there weren't any.
That doesn't help him out at all.
How does he know that there aren't any strangers on the property? You're now talking 15 minutes before the murder, and he's like, why didn't the dogs act like there were strangers on the property? If you have a dog, there's someone around the house that's not supposed to be there.
Or something.
Right.
Yeah, that's insane.
And because doesn't that goes against their whole idea, because I heard that.
That's why you have a dog.
Right. But wasn't part of the excuse, or they tried to throw it on somebody else being the murderer, like somebody he owed money to or something. Yeah. So if he's saying there was nobody there, then that destroys that idea.
Right, but he did. When you lie,
right,
you forget what lies you told.
Right.
Okay, so the prosecutor just asked him, did the dogs act like there was a stranger on the property? Like, no, they didn't.
Because there wasn't.
What?
It was him.
There weren't.
It was him.
Well, if your wife and child were killed 15 minutes later with weapons from your house.
But they don't know that.
Well,
wait. Were there weapons missing?
Were missing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well.
I think they were able to find other shot rounds.
Okay. Yep.
From the property.
They probably have a berm.
Right.
Or something that showed. Yeah. Or they open up the gun cabinet and there's two gaping missing spots.
This is all full except for these two spots.
So he has that glaring admission on the stand.
Right.
Okay. Another thing he says, one of the things that the jury's like after, because he said he always said he took a nap, didn't go to the kennels. So now how do you explain your nap taking before you went to your parents with 15 minutes?
Right.
Okay, so he says, I laid down. Well, how long was your nap? I don't know. I may have just dozed off for a second.
I wonder if this picture right here was after he realized that he said there was no strangers on the property. You know, he went, oh shit.
So that's an aw shit, not a...
I don't think that's a boo-hoo. I think that's a aw shit.
So
Go ahead.
No, he was trying to cry, I understand. Do you think, was it believable?
Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter if I think it is. I thought it was somewhat convincing.
Okay.
But I did see an interview with one of the jurors today, and the juror said, yeah, there were no tears. He was not crying.
Yeah.
And all that matters is the jury. But you
So it
never
wasn't
get
a shit moment.
you never get to see the jury.
Right.
You know, that's never shown on TV.
Right.
You know what's funny is when I went through the neurolinguistics, and they teach you in the interviews, and it was an interview and interrogation. I'm sure you went through that, like 12 of them. But one of the biggest things that they talked about in there was that when someone says something, and it's so much of a lie, and it's so terrible that it basically stinks to high heaven,
Right.
that the natural reaction after they make that statement is to reach up and touch their nose.
Yep. Or some type of hand movement.
Some like this, some like
picking
cover their mouth.
imaginable lint.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
but the biggest one was to go up and you watch. Now all our listeners are going to be watching their family members and their kids. I'm telling you, man, it and I watch it all the time when I talk to people. If they say something that sounds kind of unbelievable, and then they immediately go like this and they do the nose and all, or they look away like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that.
It's a defensive movement.
It is, and it's like, and the way the instructor taught me is when they go to their nose, it's like because it's, oh my God, that statement stunk so freaking bad, and he's right, you know, but. So that could have been his little reaction to that, you know, turn away.
So then again, you asked before. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to. So you have no ballistics,
Right.
so no evidence on there.
No murder
Probably
weapons.
no fingerprints.
Right.
So you have an ME, and who else is testifying for the prosecution?
And no murder weapons.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there's no ballistics.
I mean, you have the law enforcement responders.
Right.
You have but you also have.
I guess my question is who on the prosecution side
It was
is able
almost
to.
all the phone analytics.
Okay.
Okay, they can tell you
They
if the
rested their whole case on that.
Yeah, you could tell a phone if the phone was landscape or portrait. You know, and
Right.
they were doing that. With an iPhone, apparently, every time you pick it up, the backlight goes on automatically. So they could tell by the phone if that phone was picked up or not.
So he should have left it at the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like Brian Koberger.
Right. Well, no, I'm going to give you a little tip. If you're going to go commit a major crime, go buy yourself a new phone. But get rid of your old phone as soon as possible.
Okay.
Because it's going to have everything you looked up, every place you went, all your habits, all your speed, and all that stuff. Because they were talking about how fast he was driving from his house to his parents' house, and then back, and he was driving really fast to get to his parents'
But if you leave it at the
house.
house, none of that's recording.
Correct.
Well, it's recording, but at the house.
At the house.
But it's hard to be able to get home and grab the phone and call 911 when you find your family shot dead in the middle of a field.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna pop this up here. This is the crime scene diagram. I've zoomed it in a little bit where we can see it because we have number one here is showing a shotgun shell is what it's listed as a shotgun shell, and then number two, which is kind of hard to find number two, but if I wish this was where I could make this so much bigger and everybody could see it. Let me reduce it down and I'll put it back up on the screen so you can kind of just see the overall crime scene diagram. Maybe that'll help them kind of
While you're
it out.
doing that, John, so in your opinion, did this case 99% rely on the phone technology?
They wouldn't have been able to do anything without the phone technology.
Right.
Okay, but
So what is this over to the right here? Is that the kennels here over to the right side of that?
this is
Yes,
the first
I
time
believe
I've
so.
seen that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the kennels.
And then this would be, I guess, the storage room. And okay, all right. Sorry, we don't have a better picture of that, guys. It's just it was a little hard to find on there, but
It's the interwebs.
yeah.
So
but anyway,
he would you have your client testify if you're a defense attorney?
It depends. So, and I was thinking about this. We've done a lot of cases lately in our 12 seasons of people. The guy who killed his family. Remember the Doomsday guy in Celebration?
Yes. Yeah.
He took the stand. Oh
Yeah.
God, that was horrible.
Well,
Yeah.
This guy obviously didn't work, but the self-defense case in Wisconsin. What was that kid's name?
Kyle Rittenhouse?
Kyle Rittenhouse. He did a good job.
Well,
He was not guilty.
okay.
I'm sorry.
Let me correct that question then.
He was found not guilty.
Not guilty.
If you have an innocent person,
Yes.
I say let him take the
would you
stand.
let them take a
Yes.
stand?
I would.
If I knew that they were innocent, like the Kyle Rittenhouse case,
Right.
I think that he helped his case.
And I
Right.
think,
Oh,
though,
absolutely.
that you have to look at each individual witness, and you would have to do, all of your homework and do questioning before they took the stand to see if they could handle something like
Right.
that. Because, I mean, they could be as
the
innocent as
cross-examination
anything.
is going to be brutal.
Absolutely. They could be innocent as hell. However, if you got a person that every time somebody barks a question at them, they're like, forget it.
And he got emotional on that stand, but it was, I saw it as genuine.
According to the juror, and
No, I'm in Rittenhouse case.
Oh,
Rittenhouse, yeah.
He got emotional, and I bought it.
I did too.
I did too. I believed him 100%.
So let me tell you a couple.
So I would, if I 100% believed that they were innocent, and like you said, my answer would be yes, I'd put them on.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
What about you?
Same.
Well, more than likely yes.
Okay.
But the problem is, I think no one believed he was guilty.
Yeah.
The whole thing was, can they prove
Right.
he was guilty?
What they can prove, right?
So let me just go.
Not what they can know. Not what they know. What they can prove.
A couple more whoppers that he gave. All right. Now we mentioned he was a part-time prosecutor.
Right.
So he had a prosecutor's badge and he had his father's prosecutor's badge.
Right.
Isn't that a conflict of interest if you're a okay?
So anyway, we haven't really talked about the boat accident, but that's what stemmed all of this.
Right.
Well, when they're at the boat accident, Paul Murdaugh, who never carries his badge or doesn't wear his badge, he
Alex.
has no reason
Right.
to. Alex
Right, yeah.
has no reason to carry a badge. Doesn't, but he leaves it up on his dashboard,
Right.
in case he gets pulled
Yeah, of
over.
course.
And he admitted that, but they have a picture of him in the hospital where his son was after the boat crash, as well as the other kids.
Now this was his older son, right?
No, this is Paul.
Oh, was it? Okay.
He's wearing a badge in his pocket. So the badge
Is
is
it clipped?
displayed. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like,
Why do you have that?
why are you wearing this badge in the hospital? Were you trying to get special treatment or
Right.
special favors?
What did he say to that?
No, that doesn't make any sense. He's like, it's like,
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't wear it that way.
And
Well,
he
you
had
did.
blue
Here's a
lights
picture.
in his car.
Yeah.
And
then-
here's your picture. Yeah.
Right. Here's a picture of you wearing a badge in the hospital.
Right.
Where you had to physically make a decision. I'm going to take this badge, put it on,
Right.
and go into the hospital. It's not like we were cops. We always had the badge with us.
Yep.
Okay? And if we walked into a crime scene, we may have to carry,
Yep.
display
Clip it, display it,
clip
wear it.
or
Yep.
you would just pull it out.
Yeah.
But we were cops.
Yeah.
He wasn't a prosecutor.
Right.
Okay, so it's like, well, I wouldn't wear it that way, so that doesn't make any sense. Well, no shit, but you're wearing it.
Just like he said he had permission to have blue lights in his
Right.
car. And the sheriff said, no, he didn't.
No, I didn't give him permission.
Oh.
So, and then one of his best statements was when he said, whoever committed these murders planned it for a long time.
Oh, that's awesome.
How would you know that, sir?
How would you even know? Even from everything I've listened to, the case, the evidence, everything else, to me, it screamed crime of passion.
Yeah.
She pissed him off or something happened
Well-
or he lost it and, not a freaking planned out. And
It
if
doesn't
was
seem
planned-
pretty planned.
I was
It
going
does
to
not
say, and
seem
if
planned.
it was planned, somebody
no,
needs
no.
to go to planning school because
Hey,
they're
no,
freaking
no,
terrible.
It was planned because who the hell brings two weapons to kill people at the same scene?
So,
That was an intentional act.
do you think he
Well, yeah, it
put
was
him down
planned, but
there?
It wasn't planned well.
He put the gun. Are you thinking that he
in
staged the guns
locations?
down there?
Yeah.
And then they went down there and did that. So I know we have to wrap this up. What do you think the motive was?
Okay, well,
That's what I don't understand.
apparently she was contemplating a divorce. She had gone to see a family law attorney.
Right.
So she was possibly going to divorce him.
Was this over the boat crash that started all this? Because that's
no,
kind of what I
apparently he had
heard.
an affair.
Okay.
Well, and
Okay.
wasn't he?
But
Did
Paul-
he have an opioid addiction too?
He was an opiate addicted
Opiate,
person.
Yeah.
Paul had the boat crash,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which now caused a lawsuit where they're going to start digging into his financials, which is where we discovered he had stolen all this money from the clients.
But
and stuff like
interesting,
that.
though, he had no insurance on them,
Well,
is what I heard. None.
because his insurance company canceled him.
For like a payment?
No, because when his housekeeper died,
Okay.
okay, so,
No, I'm talking about life insurance. He had no
Right.
life
Yeah.
insurance on them.
because his umbrella policy wouldn't cover the boat accident,
Right.
because his insurance company canceled him because he filed suit on behalf of the family for his housekeeper because she tripped on a dog at the house and fell down the stairs, and that's how she died.
Jesus.
They're not sure that's exactly what happened. So he sued on behalf of the family, but never gave the family the money. But his homeowner's insurance canceled him, so he had probably like a $10 million umbrella policy, which would have covered the boat accident,
Right.
but they canceled it. But apparently Paul had just told him that they found more opiates, more pills. So now he's thinking, we're going to have to go through this whole intervention thing again. She's going to leave me. He's caused me all these problems where they're digging into my financials.
Was he stealing from the law firm too?
He stole from the law firm. He stole from clients.
So this was an act of desperation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. His entire world was coming crashing down.
So today, what? How did the jury find him?
They found him guilty after a long deliberation of 45 minutes. Technically, it was 3 hours,
but it
It was
was
technically 3 hours, but I believe,
2.5 hours was jury
Dinner.
Okay.
And
Oh,
that's
really?
And that's
After
him.
court?
And that's him where they were
That's
reading
him
the
at the
sentences.
sentences.
Yeah,
Yep.
at the sentencing.
So they found him guilty on all counts,
All counts.
and he was sentenced today for
life. I heard
Just
Two
one.
life consecutive sentences.
Yeah.
Consecutive.
Why do you think they didn't go for the death penalty? You think they didn't have a strong enough case?
I think they were concerned about the strength of the case. And keep in mind, when you're dealing with a death penalty case, even though if you're on a death penalty jury, you're supposed to say, yes, I'm willing to vote for the death penalty.
Right.
If people realize, if they prove this, I have to, vote for the death penalty.
Right.
So they damn well better prove it.
Plus, 2 life sentences without parole is a death sentence. Is a death penalty.
And he's facing 700 years.
Yeah.
for
So it's a
the
death
financial crimes.
It's a
He's-
death penalty.
He's
anyway.
already admitted to in court.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not even going to.
So he gone.
He gone. You know what? Interesting article. I know we have to wrap this up. I was reading this today that South Carolina is actually thinking about the firing squad and the electric chair because they cannot
Perfect.
because they can't get the drugs needed for the lethal injection.
Firing squad. I love it. Line him up.
I was reading that. I'm like, how awesome is that, right?
Two out of the 7 or whatever have live bullets. The rest have blanks, so nobody knows who actually fired the shot. Goodbye. Good night.
You want to hit the sponsors real quick?
Yeah, please. Let's. We got to thank our sponsors. These guys are absolutely fantastic. Well, there it is. Sorry.
That's all right.
So we have Kristen and Tom Clem Realtors. These guys are absolutely fantastic. If you're ready to buy or sell a home, please call Kristen and Tom Clem. They will treat you right. They have the utmost credibility of anybody I've ever talked to in the real estate business. Known Tom for a very long time. He is a law enforcement officer locally here by us. And if you want to talk about somebody that'll reach out and help you any way you can, Tom, love you, man. Kristen, you're awesome. If you're ready to cash
you love
out,
them.
I do. They are absolutely fantastic. If you guys are ready to cash out and just sell that property or that house or whatever, and just okay, I'm done, just sell it. Clem and Company Property Investments, same folks. They will make sure that they take care of you and get you the money that you need out of the property that you're ready to sell. And then we have Kenny's Grocery. Kenny's over 500 craft beers and wines. If that's where we get our beer for every show, John goes by, gets the beer for the shows. Thank you, John. And Kenny's, you guys are wonderful. Located at 1792.
We've been doing 12 seasons and we've not repeated beer once.
Yeah, 1792 and French Avenue in beautiful downtown Orange City, because Orange City, hey, that's where it's at. So, but if you can't find it at Kenny's, it ain't worth drinking.
Right.
I'm telling you right now. So anyway, thank you to our sponsors. Thank you very much. And guys, I don't have anything further. This Murdaugh case, I'm glad it's over. I'm sure we're going to, now that the sentences happen, thank God we won't hear no more of it on the news. Good Lord.
Now, this is going to be appealed.
Well, that's fine, but that'll be down the road, so that's fine. But listen, at Surviving the Badge,
We still
got your 6. Thank you to all our listeners. You guys rock. We appreciate you. Make sure you like and subscribe.